Moviebox Forums Community Podcast. This is episode 28 for the week of August 13th, 2012. I'm Dakazu from the forums, and who is with me this week?
Fox 8.
Mr. X.
Mrs. Totoro.
And Totoro.
Yes, we're here with Mrs. Totoro. Yay!
Hey.
How are you, Mrs. Totoro?
Just fine, taking a little break.
Taking a break. From what? Your wifely duties or something? I don't know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or are you eating a Kit Kat?
No, not that kind of break. Preparing for some big events this weekend. Totoro's best friend is getting married, and we are making the wedding cake, actually.
Wow.
Which I guess we'll be discussing later.
You are a woman of many talents if you're making a wedding cake.
Thank you. Totoro volunteered me for the job.
I did no such thing.
Totoro.
Totoro has these dimples on his face that come out when he lies. And when he said, I did no such thing, his dimples just sucked into his face. He's
Do you
such
call
a
him
liar.
light dimples or something?
We need Mrs.
I do.
Totoro
I call
on
him
all
his
the
lying
time.
dimples.
Then we know when Totoro is spouting his BS.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard the other episode Mrs. Totoro was on, and she totally dragged him out, into the mud. And,
That's awesome.
and said stuff she probably shouldn't have said on there.
Now I'm going to have to go back and find out what I said.
It can't be anything worse than what happened in Mumble Friday night.
Oh, Jesus. I have so many people to apologize to.
I brought it up.
The Pope, all of Asia.
You don't need to apologize to the Pope.
Or Asia.
Oh,
They'll be
trust
fine.
me, I do.
He had it coming.
Ronsu, I'm very sorry I made you uncomfortable. Back feminism, 50 years.
Let's just say we were all enjoying some drinks while being in Mumble that on Friday night.
Wait, Mrs. Totoro, did you say women shouldn't have the right to vote?
I may have said that, actually, yes. I don't remember, that's part of the problem.
I don't remember specifics. I just remember every minute or so you would say something ridiculous, and me and my wife thought it was hilarious.
Right, but both Totoros were drinking.
They were.
I left kind of early. Apparently it got worse as the night went on.
Or better.
I'm sure
Yeah.
this is very interesting to everyone listening.
I just wanted to bring it up real quick.
To all the people complaining about all our memes and mumble references.
Well, maybe they should join the Mumble so they can also experience, like, the company of Mrs. Totoro.
So,
They should.
blanket apology to all. I'm very sorry to anyone who was here on Friday night and had to witness my debauchery.
If you offended anyone, you should make them apologize to you for being offended. Think about it.
Noted.
Moving along?
I think we're going to start with the TF2 update that is coming out very soon.
Yeah, if you're listening to
couple
this
days.
tomorrow.
Yay, robots!
Yeah, actually want to explain? Like, kind of...
It's a 6-player co-op mode, basically like a horde survival type mode, where you just fight a bunch of robots, and there's like giant robots and special types of robots that will come out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's by wave, so occasionally they might throw you like a boss wave, where big robots that take a bunch of damage. I assume.
And it says like after each wave you get sweet loot.
So, items?
Or hats.
That could be hats or items, or it could be like you start out with like the worst weapons for whatever class you get, and then the further you get, the better weapons you get.
That might be interesting.
Like if you start as a heavy, you start out with the shotgun. Because in the trailer for this update, the heavy just has a shotgun, which I thought was weird.
Do you
That's
think
right,
it's going to
and,
be an economy... sorry, Darfox. Do you think it's going to be an economy system where, like, every level you earn points and then you buy your next weapons?
Could be.
We'll find
We
out
just don't
tomorrow.
know.
Take advantage of the breaks between waves to upgrade your abilities and weapons, survive all the waves, and any of the variety of missions to earn incredible loot.
All I
It
know
sounds
is...
like exactly that then. Sorry,
I
go ahead,
want-
Mr. Totoro.
I'm sorry, Darfox. All I know is I want to play as a robot, but apparently we're not going to be allowed to, so boo.
I'm sure it will be modded in by people.
Yeah, maybe not immediately, but probably down the line.
And I'm kind of disappointed that it's only 6 players, because that means we probably won't be playing it much on our TF2 server.
But
which
you know
is
what?
25 players.
We could probably play it a lot in general in Mumble. It's easy enough to get a group of people together to say, hey, let's go play that robot horde mode.
Yes.
Yeah, I really want to see how it runs off for me because I played TF2 again in a long time. Like I've been absent a few game nights, and this last Sunday I played, and I forgot how choppy TF2 plays for me. It's kind of not fun. So I hope it's a lot better since it's a lot less players.
We just need to start a fund and like get you a new computer.
No, I just need to get a job and then start paying bills and then eventually buy more games to get a new computer.
That sounds awfully responsible, Darfox. I don't think you want to do that.
Okay, I'll just chill here then.
Awesome.
I'll be here, guys.
Just put your feet up, relax. Play a little Walking Dead.
What?
You know, that video game?
Oh yeah, I played that. Are we talking about that?
We could. Or we could talk about how awesome the TF2 comics are that Valve releases. Those comics are so good. If there was a comic series that Valve would put out of just TF2 stuff, I would buy and read each issue.
Thing is though that they're pretty sporadic, so and I'm sure they do it like on their downtime because they put them up free, right?
Yeah.
So they if they sort of made that with a schedule and actually made it money oriented, then I'm sure some of the fun will be grinded out of it, and it'll become kind of filler comics and stuff like that. I assume. I don't know.
And the jokes might get old if they have to pump it out every month.
Yeah, it just seems to me that these are like jokes that they throw around with each other, in Valve, in the development team. And I assume that some of them eventually, like the best ones, get weaved into the actual story or the actual lore. If T2 has a lore, which I guess it does.
It does. I don't know if you read this newest one.
I skimmed through it. I saw some of it, but I didn't read it.
Where the Red and Blue brothers are talking about how they must create a truce because none of them have an heir, so they can make a machine that makes one of them pregnant. A pregnancy machine.
Wow.
I read Pregnancy Machine, but I didn't know what they were referencing to. I was like, that's weird. Now I know.
And then the Gray brother shows up in it, and he says, he sent the letters to them proposing the truce, which I might add, it took you literally 30 seconds to turn into an idiotic crime against nature, which is the pregnancy machine. Comics are so good. Okay, but I think we should move on.
Please, TF2 lore, not very entertaining.
It is very entertaining. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's kind of weird
if you're
and funny
into
sometimes.
that, otherwise it's just like I'd rather just play some TF2, please.
It's funny just the fact that it exists.
And then it's also funny because it's funny.
Yeah, sometimes I guess.
It's funny because
It's funny.
Oh god, moving on. Move on to Walking Dead, please. Darfox.
Okay. We both played Walking Dead, which is free on PlayStation Plus.
The currently available episodes, which are only the first two, but they're both free on PlayStation Plus, so you guys should really check it out.
If you're into that sort of thing, trophies are super easy.
These are the Telltale games, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Telltale.
So, how is the quality? Because sometimes their games are amazing, other times they're kind of crappy. Like, I heard the Jurassic Park was not good at all.
The quality of like the voice acting and the storytelling generally is it's pretty good. And graphically, if you look like a screenshot, it looks pretty good. But on a technical level, it's kind of janky. The character models a lot of times kind of jitter out and kind of disappear and reappear like randomly.
And there'll be long pauses in the middle of dialogue.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, stuff like that. But in general, it's a pretty good presentation. It just, every once in a while, it really wigs out and it becomes kind of ugly.
The voice acting of the main character is a little spotty.
Yeah, his delivery, sometimes maybe they didn't give him good direction to know how everybody else was talking at that scene. It seems like he doesn't care what's going on.
Yeah, totally.
But the puzzles and the gameplay itself is alright.
There's no puzzles.
It technically is puzzles, but they're very obvious and in the environment. So in that sense, they're good. They're not really weird, abstract.
I'm really confused then, because most Telltale games, like the Monkey Island new episodes and like the Sam & Max, they play as adventure games.
No, this is weird. This isn't... I don't even know if I'd really call it a game. It's more of like a visual novel, but a choose-your-own-adventure visual novel.
It's similar to Heavy Rain in that sense.
Only Heavy Rain had like action sequences. I guess this does too, sort of.
So do you have action sequences that determine like the fate of like the survivors, I guess?
Action sequences usually mean you die or you don't die. They rarely make a action sequence. I don't think they've had made an action sequence about a choice. They're usually just choices you gotta choose quickly because you have a time meter counting down.
Yeah, but there are events that will pop up where you have to choose to do one thing or the other, or to back up whatever someone is saying, or back up the other person.
And then you get a finite result. Is that like the draw? Like your choice is final and it moves on?
Yeah. The story branches based on all your choices, which is pretty cool.
So between episode 1 and 2, like, do you think that it works well?
Yeah. I mean, it's, like I said, I don't really know if I'd call it a game, but it's interesting. Like, I like the story.
The thing is, like, the story in general isn't anything particularly fantastic, but it's a lot of fun because the story is basically a bunch of, like, vignettes of typical zombie scenarios, and you get to choose what happens, right? So in that sense, it's kind of fun, where it kind of drags you through, like, the zombie gallery or whatever.
I will say episode 2 is better than episode 1.
Yeah, in general, episode 2 did have, like, an actual arc of a mystery there, and you figuring out slowly what's happening, and at the end, you figure out what's happening, and it's kind of crazy, right? You're like, whoa.
Well, it's super obvious, which I called, like, 5 seconds
Really?
into...
Whoa.
Yeah.
You called exactly what was happening?
Yes.
You're a smart guy.
The single detail I predicted.
Even the thing at the ending with the camcorder?
Yes. Well, I thought it was going to be something a little different.
Okay, we'll talk about it later, I guess, because we're not really going to spoil much, because there's a lot of people on the Momo server that we know have PS Plus, but they still haven't downloaded and played it, and we recommend they do.
Yes, but I believe Totoro was going to ask something.
Yeah, did Robert Kirkman have anything to do with the writing of the game or the dialogue or scenarios or anything?
I don't think so.
His name's in the credit, but I assume as like a
Well, he created the source.
producer. Well, I think as like a producer or something like that. Maybe as a consultant, like just to make sure they're not fucking up his universe, because it ties directly to the comic, I believe.
It was written by Sean Vanneman and Jake Rodkin and Gary Whitta.
Wait, so
Okay.
you said it ties directly. Does that mean like there are actually character crossovers?
Yeah.
Yes, in the first episode, there's a character crossover.
Yeah,
Okay.
Glenn is in it.
What?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Glenn. And so is Herschel.
Oh yes, Herschel, correct. I was like, wait, somebody else besides Glenn? Yeah, Herschel's in it.
I think I'm going to go download this right now.
But to give you an example of the type of choices you have to make, like there's this scene where someone is fixing a fence, and he said, he said to a little kid, you can just sit on the tractor and keep watch and be the foreman and boss me around. And then a few minutes later, you hear a scream, and the tractor has moved forward over the guy's leg, and zombies are breaking through the fence, and a zombie has the guy, and a zombie has the kid. So you have to choose who to save.
And this is also a good point, because I was a little disappointed how binary it was, because the first thing I did is I went for the kid. Because the
I
tractor
did not.
really went for the guy?
Well, that guy was super helpful, and I could see his use to the group and keeping everyone alive. The little kid was going to get people killed.
Okay, so... Oh, that's interesting. So I went for the kid specifically because the tractor was on the guy's leg. So I said, okay, I save this kid, I move the tractor, and then I go save the guy, right? Because I was thinking if I just go save the guy, I won't be able to save him because he's pinned under the tractor, right? But apparently that's inconsequential.
So what happened when you went to get the kid?
I started trying to put on the kid, and then Kenny, his father, came to help me out, and so I punched out the zombie, and then Kenny took the kid, and then Kenny just kind of pussied out and ran away, right?
Yeah.
And then and then it was too late for me to save the guy, Herschel's son, basically. And then Herschel shows up and he gets really angry at us.
Really angry.
He still got angry at you?
Yeah. Well,
You
less
saved this
because he still died.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, because I was too weak or something. I hit them with a board and then I pushed them closer to the kid.
What?
And then Kenny ran away, but yeah, because I hit him and it was like a downward swing up, from above, so it pushed him down.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he still died. So that choice actually wasn't a choice.
Oh, so the kid survives.
Yeah, because his dad
Interesting.
runs up and grabs him and runs away.
Yeah, and kind of leaves you there to take the consequence of Herschel's dad. Or Herschel.
Well, he comes back and then he gets all up in his face.
He turned into like the devil at that second. He's like, you can get out.
Yeah, he kicked everyone out.
And I was interested because is that character in the comic? The guy that died?
I think he's mentioned. I think he's in the barn. One of the zombies in the barn.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, that's right, because he dies anyway. So I was thinking that maybe if he survived, I was like, wouldn't that be a time paradox for the comics?
Wait, so if
So-
okay, so I'm just trying to get some. So, like, is it Glenn is with them or is at Herschel's farm with Herschel?
No, he leaves before we make it to Herschel's farm, I believe. We find him after Herschel's farm.
Okay,
Herschel's farm is one of the first places you go in the game.
okay.
And then you go to Macon, and that's where you run into Glenn.
Yeah. And there's more choices there in Macon, but I guess we'll leave that, spoiler free.
I wanted to ask you about this one of the guys in episode 2 when you get to a certain section, but I guess I'll ask you about that.
Are you talking about the opening
mic.
section?
No, it's more towards the end, like 75% of the way through with the older guy. And
Okay, I'm not
you know
sure
what
what
I'm
you're talking about, so we can't talk about it. You gave me more hints, might give something away.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
to spoil it for anyone.
Well, it sounds awesome, and I'm gonna boot up my PS3.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna go
it's fun.
download it.
Just don't expect like typical adventure game stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, even though there's no like real action gameplay, it's just fun kind of going through these scenarios and choosing what to choose.
You are absorbing a story
Yeah.
and interacting with it.
Cool. Okay. Moving along. I think we're gonna get into our top threes because we haven't done top three in a while, and we have a top three to pick. Right now, it's the top 3 action movies.
Of all time, correct?
Yes. We're not gonna limit it into like any kind of specific era, like the 80s or whatever, or just kind of a wide berth. We'll discuss amongst ourselves if maybe a movie doesn't count or whatever, but you can obviously defend your choice.
I'm pretty sure if it was still 80s, my top 3 would still be the same.
All right. Anybody prefer to go first?
I can go first if you want.
Go ahead.
Should I start with 3 or 1?
Go in reverse order. It's always better that way.
Okay, number 3, Die Hard. Number 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 1, Aliens.
That's a pretty good list.
It's a great list. It's the best list.
I'll go next if that's okay.
Okay, go ahead. Wait, Mrs. Totoro, you want to say something?
I was gonna say, though I like that list, mine are a little more non-traditional than that, but I'll let Darfox go first.
Go ahead, Darfox.
Okay. Well, I was going to say that his Aliens is number 1, mine is number 3. So number 3 is Aliens, the sequel to Alien. Number 2 is Die Hard, and number 1 is Police Story.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, that's the coolest action movie ever.
It wouldn't be a Darfox top 3 if there wasn't a Jackie Chan movie on there.
Just wait for the desserts.
I was a little surprised it wasn't all Jackie Chan.
Yeah, well, action to me always, not always, but like action to me, like I usually think of car chases or gun scenes, and not all Jackie Chan movies have that.
Mrs. Totoro, would you like to go next?
Sure. My number 3 is, like I said, my list is is not very traditional. I prefer spy films, comedy, action, and disaster action. So my number 3 is Signs. My number 2 is Twister, and my number 1 is Desperado. And I will fully defend those if anybody asks.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to argue with Desperado because that's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward action. Signs,
But
I think, is the
Signs
most least
is-
action.
Signs is more of a thriller mystery type movie.
Let's hear your defense of that.
It would still count as an action film because it's considered a disaster film in the alien genre. To me, it's still funny. All these years later after it's come out, if I watch it, I still laugh. It's still full of plot holes, and that's something I love about it. Because I think all action movies have some kind of plot hole. And it's still scary to me, so I just really enjoy it.
But as far as like action goes, I think the only time that you really get any action is at the very end when Meryl picks up the bat and starts swinging the
He
bat.
swings
with
away.
her
Well,
There's
they
a few
run
scenes-
run around the house
Yeah, I was gonna
cursing.
say.
And they lock
And-
an alien in
Yeah,
a
the aliens.
pantry.
Yeah, the alien is stuck in the pantry.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes of excitement. So
Yeah.
if you want to argue,
Suspense. I would say suspense.
yeah, suspense or excitement.
So yeah, I can see where you guys are. I'm stretching it, but But yeah, I mean, if I had to pick a fourth one to replace it, probably sentimentally, it would have to be my favorite Bond film, which is Moonraker. And that one's just because my dad has a major affinity for that movie.
All right.
You know, last times we brought up Signs on this podcast, there was a little bit of outrage on the forums because certain people really dislike that movie.
Well, certain people can really suck my never too.
I believe
God,
it's Ken.
there you go.
I believe
I'm telling you.
it is Kenzo, I believe, who hates that movie.
That's
Master
okay.
Higgins, I think, was the one that really.
I mean,
yeah, I
Mr.
think it was
Higgins also
Higgins
doesn't like
also?
science.
Well, they don't have to like the movie I like. That's fine.
Yeah.
I like Signs.
So
I do
I
too.
like a lot.
I
More
think it's
people dislike any Shyamalan after Unbreakable.
If I have to pick one to replace it because it's disqualified, I'll go with my favorite Bond film. Like I said, it's sentimental, but it's Moonraker, and it's because of my dad and his love for a certain actress named Lois Chiles.
Okay, Totoro, you want me to go or you want to go?
Why don't you go?
Okay, so my third movie I said Terminator 2. My second choice is Die Hard. And my number one is Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz is really
That
good.
is
so
a good
good.
movie.
Hot
Oh,
Fuzz
you
is
fucker, that's so
really
good. It
good.
should have been mine.
I'm surprised you guys, no one else has brought it up yet.
The Swans escaped.
Totoro, go
Mr.
ahead.
P. Ian Staker. P.I. Staker, Piss Taker. Come on.
You've never seen
Greater
Bad Boys
Good.
2.
Okay. My number 3, and this is, I'm probably going to get groans for this, but my number 3 is going to be Princess Mononoke. Even though it's an animated movie, there's a lot of action and a lot of movement and everything going on in that movie.
Okay.
There's action in that movie. Yeah, there's some pretty cool action.
I'm
It
glaring
doesn't-
at my monitor so hard right now.
Yeah, the only thing you go against that if it's
X
animation.
hates the animus.
But
Yeah, it's just, but it's,
as long as you're
there's
not
a lot
allowing
going on
animation,
there.
that's fine.
Action May?
I'm just surprised that's in
here,
your top three.
well, for me, it was the first Miyazaki that I ever watched, and it still sticks with me today. If you were to take that movie and redo it in live action, shot for shot, I mean, like frame for frame, if that movie was 100% in live action, there would be no question that this movie would still be on my list, and there would be no question that it would be an action movie.
Except that you're not going to find giant wolves in live action.
Well, yeah.
So would
obviously
you
the
say?
CD, but
So then, would you say the Psycho remake is as good as the original Psycho?
It's a
shot-for-shot remake.
I'm not talking about whether or not it's good enough. What I'm saying is that it would fit. It would unquestionably fit within the genre.
Okay. I think you've defended that, so move on.
Okay, my number 2 is going to be The Empire Strikes Back, and my number 1 is going to be Predator, the original Predator.
I can't believe I was the only one that had Raiders.
I was thinking about Predator, but I didn't choose it. I chose Aliens.
I was thinking about the Indiana Jones, also the Star Wars, but I was like, maybe I don't want to go pretty typical. Maybe I can find something else that I really enjoy.
That was my thought, was that I could go with an exact list of, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Die Hard and, any of the Bourne movies or any of those, but I would rather go with 3 movies that, I've watched, so many times and I just love them.
Yeah, and if you were to ask me like next week, my top 3 would probably be different. I'd probably put Shaun of the Dead number 1 or something.
That's
No,
a horror movie.
But it's still work. It's action packed.
That is a romantic comedy with zombies.
It's a rom-com action zom.
I won't argue with that.
So, usually when we do top 3, we then take our picks and then we decide a communal top 3.
But we don't need to do that since mine was the best.
Okay,
I
number
think that just means we have to do it now. Them's fighting words.
Mine's best. Aliens number 1.
We have an odd number of people here. We can vote.
Aliens.
Listen, okay. I think Die Hard, it was on 3 out of the 5 of our lists, so that needs to go in like one of the top 3 spots.
Aliens was on 2.
But Aliens was number 3 for me.
But number 1 for me.
So it becomes number 2 automatically.
I guess.
I don't know.
I'm willing to fight against your Alien choice, but that could be potentially up in the air. I just think Die Hard should be somewhere on that top 3.
I actually like that you had Hot Fuzz in your list. And it's so self-referential to the whole genre. You know, like when they talk about you've never seen Bad Boys 2, and they have like every single action film quality in that movie. So I really think that should be in the top 3.
I agree.
Hot Fuzz is the Cabin in the Woods of action movies.
Yeah, kind of.
Wait a minute. Why didn't you have Cabin in the Woods in your top 3? You love that movie.
Because it's not an action movie.
But there was plenty of action in that movie.
It's a horror comedy. It's not action.
Yeah,
I think it's fine for X to separate that away from action. Like, it makes sense that he wants to pick other movies instead.
Yeah, I'm down for people defending their points, their movies as being action movies, but at a certain point, every single movie will become an action movie.
Yes.
But I also agree with Mrs. Totoro. I want to see Hot Fuzz on that top 3. Unless someone else argues that.
Choice.
I would say that it's really good, but I don't think it's as good of an action movie. I think it's really good comedy. But the action in it is not great.
Number 3.
The action in it is pretty good.
Not really.
Yeah, it is.
I said the action in Scott Pilgrim is better.
Nick Frost walking away from like a huge explosion with, guns on his back, and Simon Pegg the same way. That's just awesome.
I would say Hot Fuzz is the weakest of the Edgar Wright movies.
You're wrong because there is no. Well, Paul wasn't an Edgar Wright movie. It was just it was directed by Greg Mottola, and it had Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in it. But yeah. I mean, there is seriously like every single, either action movie, and then they even threw in like Western tropes with Simon Pegg's character riding back into town with the shotguns on his back, like he's the man with no name, and it's just great stuff.
So then, Aliens number 1.
I'm
Hot Fuzz number 1.
No.
Okay,
How
wait.
come nobody picked Jaws?
It's not an action movie.
Yeah, it's everything.
Technically,
yeah.
I think what Darfox said is correct. When you boil it down, technically, it could be action movie. Everything can be action movie. Maybe, but we just picked movies that we felt were like better choices as action movies, right?
Yep.
So that's the list that we have. So is anyone going to argue against Aliens for something else?
Aliens
in the top 3? No.
Yeah.
Aliens is so good. I can't believe you want to fight against it, Dakazu.
I'm just being devil's advocate in
case
Mrs. Totoro or Totoro wants to, put one of their movies up.
How many movies were nominated for Oscars that we listed? There was Aliens, Empire, Raiders, I think, was nominated for Best Picture.
Police Story for Best Picture.
I don't think that's true, Darfox.
Yeah, Darfox, don't you want Police Story on this list?
No, I think I don't want to be the crazy guy screaming at kids getting off the lawn. Because, I'll be like the one guy.
Yes, you would.
But it's cool.
Okay, so no one argues that the top 3 list should, regardless of order, it should be Hot Fuzz, Aliens, and Die Hard.
I would say Predator over Hot Fuzz.
I can argue with you.
I think I would too, but I'm fine with Hot Fuzz being in there because...
Totoro, what would you say?
Oh God, Predator. Over here.
Do we need to have a vote for this? Like between Predator and Hot Fuzz? I think I'm gonna win.
This is gonna kill me.
Okay, I vote for Predator.
Mrs. Totoro and I vote for Hot Fuzz, right, Mrs. Totoro? Between Predator and Hot Fuzz?
I'm gonna get in so much trouble if I go against Totoro.
No. Who cares about your husband? This is your opinion.
Okay, Dar, who would you? It's okay. She's voted for Hot Fuzz. It's fine. Dar, which one would you pick?
I would vote Predator.
Mike, oh Jesus!
No, you're the tiebreaker, right?
He's the tiebreaker.
It was your number 1 movie.
I know. Oh, but I could
3.
But as oh God. I mean, like I said earlier, like either one could just as easily be in there for me.
Stop being wishy-washy. Make a choice.
I know. I'm going to pick. I'm going to completely invalidate my opinion here, but I'm going to go ahead and pick. I'm going to go ahead and take Predator this time around.
Okay, Predator.
I bet Totoro didn't think of Hot Fuzz when he was thinking of his top 3. Otherwise, it would have been on there.
Oh God.
But
It would have been on there. Be honest.
Predator
would
would
have
have Predator would have still been his number one because I think he said on the podcast that's been his favorite movie since he was like 2 years old.
But
Well,
it doesn't matter.
it's
Die
been
Hard
one-
wasn't my, your number one either, but it was still in your top 3, and so you want to see it on the list.
Yeah, I do. Die Hard is great.
Yeah, there were times like when I was in like second grade, like getting ready for school in the morning, and like my dad would go to work, and my mom would still be asleep, and I was supposed to like get ready to go, but I would like turn on the TV, and we had a satellite dish, and Predator would come on, and I would sit there and I would fucking watch that thing. I would miss the bus.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
Would you walk
that
to
happened.
school?
No, my mom. No, because I didn't realize I missed my butts.
Yeah, did your mom
Until my
beat your
mom
ass
got up.
and then drag you
No,
to school?
no. my
Would you
mom
just
was-
tell your Would you just tell your teacher you were there the whole time, but you were using your camouflage so that you'd blend in?
Yeah, I told him over here.
The jungle
so
king.
I have an honorable mention that we totally forgot.
Go ahead.
We forgot True Lies.
It's really good.
We
I
also
love
forgot
that
Face
movie.
Off.
Yeah, that's really good.
3 is not enough for these
Also,
lists.
I would say Terminator 1
Yeah, I
is
know.
better than Terminator 2. But I
As
know
an action
that
movie, not really.
I do know that I would voted on that
Yeah.
because
I don't know.
Terminator 1 is more of a horror movie than an action movie.
Yeah, I don't think
Which
we
is
should
probably
be
why you
doing
like it
top.
more.
It's
I don't think
it's
we
just
should be doing
grittier.
top 3.
It's grittier and more intense.
I think we should be doing ties.
Well, it's too late for that. Section's called
Yeah,
Top
that's
3.
true.
Okay, so we have the top 3 movies. We have Predator, we have Die Hard, and we have Aliens. How are we going to order this?
Aliens number 1.
I kind of want that number one.
I'd
I want
rather
Die
see
Hard
Die
number
Hard
one.
number 1.
I think
I
you're going to be
will-
outvoted.
I
I would rather see
understand.
Die Hard because that also doubles as a Christmas movie.
So does Aliens. You
Let's
don't know what
vo-
time it is.
Let's vote. Who's going to be number 1? I vote Die Hard.
You
Die
don't
Hard.
need a vote.
Die
I know
Hard.
Die Hard is going to be number 1.
I vote Predator.
Just to be a dick. Okay, so Die Hard is number 1. What is number 2? Is it Aliens or is it Predator?
Aliens.
Aliens.
Predator.
I think Aliens.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
So
Totes.
Aliens.
I'm gonna pick Aliens.
So
I
it's
actually have
Die
no-
Hard, Aliens, and then Predator.
I have no love for Predator, actually.
You know, I would like to give honorable mention to Commando and The Running Man
And Face Off.
and Conan
You know,
and
Face Off
Con
was almost
Air
on my list.
and The Rock. You guys remember The Rock?
Oh my god.
These
The
are
Rock.
all
Dude,
awesome.
my
you just
God,
fucked up your
movies.
Ferrari.
The Rock could have been on my list. Oh, too late for that.
It is.
Well, Desperado gets on my honorable, like it's on my top 3, but it's for me it's in the, honorable mention list overall because he has a fucking gun in a guitar case and it's awesome.
Desperado is really good.
What about Once Upon a Time in Mexico?
No, Desperado.
That's
is
a
better
really
than
good
that.
movie. No, well,
Yeah.
no, I don't know. Once
That
Upon a
had
Time in
machine.
Mexico is
That
really
had a
good.
rock. That had a rocket launcher and a guitar case.
Wait,
I think
what about El
Desperado did as
Mariachi?
well.
Desperado is the best example of television censorship that I ever remember.
Well, I know that in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, they did a hilarious TV edit version of it.
The Desperado version, they say "what the fuck" a lot, and for the television edited version, they say "what the frijoles."
Oh my god.
That
Fuck,
was
say that. Say it.
What the frijoles?
You guys are super racist.
What the beans?
I loved that. I loved that edit so much that I bought the domain. What?
Totoro owned whatthefrijoles.com.
No.
Yes, still to
Yeah.
this
Did
day.
What?
Does it get any hits?
No.
I didn't think
think
so.
I think it's gonna be the official URL of the Cool Dudes podcast.
Oh, another honorable
I don't
mention
think there's anything there or not.
The Matrix.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a cool action movie.
Yeah, you don't have anything on there anymore.
Maybe the Lord of the Rings movies also.
They wouldn't be on mine, I don't think.
So are we with Die Hard, Aliens, and Predator?
Yes, that is our
Yeah.
decided
Yeah,
order.
that's 3, 2, 1.
Mm-hmm.
Although,
Excuse me, wait,
No.
no.
Aliens is the best movie on that list.
Nice try, Totes.
Me no.
Let's move on to, we have another top 3. This is kind of more personal preference, but this is top 3 desserts. Not deserts, desserts.
Antarctica.
So,
Go
Kirby.
Bee.
Kirby.
I can go first if you want.
Sure.
Okay. Number 3, carrot cake. Number 2, brownies. And number 1, ice cream.
Do you have any kind of preferred
Any
ice
particular-
cream, or
I like mint chocolate chip a whole lot.
so you said what
That's
was it?
good
Carrot
shit.
cake.
Brownies and ice cream. But if you can combine the two and have your brownies with ice cream, that's the best.
Alamodi.
Yes, that is the best.
That's a pretty good list.
It's the best list. Did I win the list? What do I win?
I don't know. Who wants to go next?
Diabetes.
Yeah,
I can go.
who wants to go next?
My grandmother made a salad dressing cake when I was a kid. It's a chocolate cake, and instead of using eggs, she used mayonnaise. And it's wonderful.
Wait, what?
It's a
That sounds so bad.
What?
I hate mayonnaise.
you can't taste the mayonnaise, because it's overpowered by the cocoa in it. But it's so, like, the cake itself is just so incredibly moist because of using this different product.
Wait,
in
I
it.
can understand because mayonnaise is eggs, but it's also vinegar. So is
Right.
it sour, or is that just kind of an aftertaste?
No, Totoro's had it. I've made the cake for him. I actually have my grandmother's handwritten recipe on my refrigerator. And so it's just a very moist, chocolatey cake.
I think X is
You would
throwing
not
up.
be able to tell the difference. You would not be able to tell the difference.
Is it like cream cheese icing?
No, it actually, every time I've made it, I've put no icing on it at all. It's literally so moist, it needs nothing.
So is that your number 3?
That's my number 3.
Chocolate mayo
my
cake?
yeah, well, it's called salad dressing cake. My number 2 is a peach cobbler made with just like yellow cake mix. It's a peach dump cake. My aunt has made that like my whole life, and I love it and look forward to every holiday because that's my favorite. And my number 1, like my favorite, what the family makes. But my number 1 is a chocolate shake. I can go anywhere and get a chocolate shake. I love them. I judge places by how good their shakes are.
So chocolate shake
How
is
much?
your one.
Problem with chocolate
Yes.
shakes is a lot of times people put in like too much chocolate syrup.
Yeah, I had one yesterday from a place called Boardwalk Burgers. And
They have those here.
and it was pretty chocolatey. So the next time that I go there, if I ask for a chocolate shake again, I'll probably ask them to put less chocolate in it.
A lot of times now, I just get strawberry shakes because most places put in too much chocolate syrup.
Yeah, she can't get strawberry shakes because those would kill her.
Banana?
I do like banana shakes too, but that's more Totoro's thing.
So who's next?
I can go. My number 3 is Czechoslovakian bulbalina.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain what that is.
It's
Oh yeah.
It's my mother makes it, and basically she learned it from one of the family friends. They're Czech, and she taught her how to make this. It's basically like blueberry bread, but the blueberries aren't. It's a flat bread, so the blueberries are on top, and it's not very sweet, but it's just like it does use like extra butter, so it's really good. Here's a link with a picture. Number 2.
We'll put this in before you go on. We'll put this link in the thread
Yeah.
on the forums.
My number 2 choice is Ice Monicas, and this is a Japanese ice cream treat. Basically, the Monica is like a wafer, so it looks like a waffle wafer. Almost looks like kind of an ice cream tray, but it's made out of wafer. So you have 2 of those, and they're smaller than a ice cube tray, and inside they're coated with chocolate, and they have vanilla ice cream inside. So it's very similar to like a drumstick you get over here. The waffle cone.
It sounds like the old like wrestling ice cream bars from the 80s. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
You know what?
No.
I kind
I
of know what you're
kind
talking
of know
about.
what
but
you're talking about too.
I don't remember having those very often.
They were like these like cookie things on the outside, and then they'd have a picture of a wrestler on it. They were really good. I've never had an
We
ice
might
Monica.
need to post this in the thread as well. But my number 1 choice is very simple. It's vanilla custard cream puffs. Not standard American cream puffs, more Japanese style, because the vanilla custard is more very pudding consistency, and then you put that in a cream puff, and they're delicious. So that's my top 3. Who's next?
I guess I'm next.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not much of a desserts guy. I'm not much of a sweets guy. Honestly, the first thing I thought of was like M&Ms or something. Because I
Candy,
don't eat a lot of
yum.
desserts.
I thought for
Um,
sure it was gonna be Jackie Chan's Who Am I?
That's actually funny.
Operation Condor.
Um, so my number 3 would be ice cream. I guess vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream. Either one is good. My number 2 would be cake. Probably chocolate cake. That's good too. And my number 1 would be cheesecake. I like cheesecake a lot. It's tasty.
Cheesecake. Good choice, man.
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
You know, cake is better than pie.
Totoro's brother.
I don't
makes
know
a
if I agree
really
with that.
great
I think I
cheesecake.
might be one of the only people here, but I always prefer pie over cake.
Cake
Depends on the pie and depends on the cake.
Cake has frosting, therefore cake wins.
Pie has.
Thing is, I don't like
pie has
frosting that
filling.
much.
What?
Yeah, I don't.
Like,
Filling?
This is my complaint. Most cakes, like their frosting is just really sugary and not like good. Depends on the cake, like Totoro said. Depends on the pie too.
yeah, I'm sure homemade cakes are like more elegant in that respect. But I usually buy cakes from like Publix or something, and the frosting is usually just hard, cheap
Yeah,
stuff.
unless it's like chocolate fudge frosting, like on a yellow cake. That's usually good universally. But otherwise, like if it's like any kind of white type like frosting on cakes, it's gross. Like too sweet.
Yeah, I hate when I stick my fork in frosting or something, and then I just take out the whole frosting like a helmet or something.
Yeah, that's a mark of like a bad dessert. If
Well, yeah.
like that's like especially like also like if you get meringue pies, if it like separates, it's not supposed to separate. So I mean that's like just kind of the same thing.
Totoro.
Okay. My number 3 would be no bake cookies, but that Mrs. Totoro makes for me on occasion.
Okay, are they just regular chocolate chip cookies?
Okay. No bake cookies.
No bake?
They are made no bake. You do not bake them.
It's actually more. The process is actually more like a candy, but they come out in a circle. Sorry to interrupt you there, Totoro.
Okay, but they're made with oats, peanut butter.
Oh, gross.
Is it butter?
Oats, peanut
You
butter,
are the worst,
cocoa,
Dakazu.
sugar, and milk and butter.
So basically, you make them in a pot on the stove, and then you put down some wax paper and you dab them out. I've heard them called cow dab cookies as well because they look kind of like cow mess.
Like cow pies, you mean?
Initially,
Like cow poop?
yes, like cow dabs.
Doesn't sound very
I've heard 'em called that as
appetizing.
well.
Plus, there's peanut butter. What's next?
My number 2 is something that my grandmother makes for me whenever I'm around, and she's making a cake, and that is carrot cake.
Carrot cake is really good.
And number 1 is going to get extremely specific.
Okay, go ahead.
My number one dessert of all time is the pistachio gelato from Gelatiamo in Seattle, Washington.
You know, if you were able to get that specific, then I would have said something that I don't know how to make that was someone in my family sometimes makes. It's called dirt cake, but it's
Well,
not
I
a
got
cake.
that specific with, family members.
Yeah, I didn't know we were getting that specific. Oh well.
Well, it's just that I really like pistachio ice cream. There's a place in my hometown that does it pretty well, but this gelato was just, when I had it last summer, was just above and beyond and like anything else that I think I've ever had. It was like it kind of, when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, what is my favorite sweet treat of all time? And it was like not even a question for me. I mean, it was good. It's just good stuff, and it was like everything that gelato should be.
Awesome.
Well, X, why don't you describe dirt cake then? Because I don't think we're gonna bother trying to do like a top 3 communal
Okay.
this group. They're too different.
It's served in a flower pot with a fake flower in it.
What? Okay,
That's
keep
just the presentation.
going.
It has like, I know there's like pudding and cream cheese in it, and then crushed up Oreos are mixed in, and then also laid on top so that it looks like dirt, but it has to be really crushed up. And it's really good, but it can be a bit much. You can't eat a lot of it.
It sounds like Bones in the Graveyard.
Could be.
Which is
It was Bones in the Graveyard was something we used to make in Spanish class. It was pudding, and then it had Oreos crushed up on the top, and we would use these little candies that were in the shape of skeletons and bury them in the pudding.
Sounds like it, but there's no. I think there's like cream. I know there's definitely cream cheese and I want to say vanilla in it. I'm not sure, but I know it's more than just pudding.
Yeah, when you were describing that, actually reminded me of a non-dessert dish. But I remember going to this restaurant with my family once that they made their. You know how normally when you go sit down at a restaurant, they bring out bread. Well, this place they would do like bread in a flower pot. So I was just thinking about that. It just brought back that memory. I don't remember where it was or when it was, but
I think there might also be Cool Whip in it.
I can
Cool Whip.
Whip.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say I can tell you what won't be my favorite dessert after this week, and that will be wedding cake.
that's because you gotta make it.
Don't you have to make a whole bunch of cupcakes too?
Well, yeah, that's instead of doing a tiered cake, the bride thought it would be easier to serve cupcakes, and so did I.
Which it is.
Yeah. So I'm actually making 240 cupcakes and then a cake for the bride and groom to cut. And then I actually have to make extra cupcakes for Totoro and Papa Totoro because I'm not going to be able to keep them out of them.
What type of cupcakes do you have to make again?
The cake itself is a lemon almond cake. And then the frosting on top is a lemon cream cheese.
That sounds really good.
It is.
You know what? Getting back to our top threes, I'm really surprised Dark Fox didn't bring up, something from Chile or something culturally that he prefers.
I was kind of looking forward to the idea of something else, because Dakazu really presented some things that were different.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys are just racist.
No, because if my dad was on this podcast, you would have never heard he couldn't do a top three because he loves sweets. I for some reason didn't get the same taste as him, and I never really liked sweets that much. And our mom being kind of strict, never really want to give us a lot of sweets. So we just didn't really grow up with a lot of sweets in general, much less cultural recipes passed down the tree or whatever.
So you can't even describe one for us that would be exotic, I guess, in our...
No, only the basic ones tres leche, stuff
Tres
like that.
leches is so good.
And honestly, I don't like tres leches that much because I never really ate it that much.
Yeah, I prefer pie, but tres leches, I will make an exception. That cake is delicious. And if you don't know what it is it's basically it's wet cake. It's cake that's been kind of drowned in a sweet milk syrup. So good.
Yeah, I've had it. I don't really like it. I could have just had a bad one though when I had it. So I think I had it for Thanksgiving at work for a potluck when people were bringing in food, and some people cannot cook.
That's the worst, when you have the food in your mouth and the person is looking at you and they're like, you like it? I'm like, no.
And you just nod and then you puke as soon as they walk away.
Well, thanks for the top three here, Dakazu, because for me, baking and creating desserts was just something that was passed on to me by my grandmothers and something I've done for a long time, so it's kind of cool for me.
No problem.
And by the way, with the pies, my great-grandmother used to make her own pie crusts and make her own pies out of fruit that we would go and pick from their own property, and she taught me how to make them, and we would mark them with the letter of what was inside them, and that was one of my best memories every summer.
Okay, so we can't really determine what is communal top three because our choices are so different. But what we can determine, what do you prefer, pie or cake? I prefer pie.
Let's just go right down the line.
Cake.
Okay.
I think I like cake more, but pie is always more like a special treat because I hardly ever eat pie. So I have to choose cake in case you guys got confused by my answer.
I can't believe you're using pie filling as a pro for pie.
Depends on the filling. It depends on the pie.
It's like Paul F. Tompkins said. If you feel bad when you eat frosting from a can, and you feel like something is wrong when you're eating pie filling from a can.
Well, that's why.
Like something
That's
that's
why
gone
you get
terribly
them
wrong.
fresh.
I can't decide.
Come on, really?
Well, I mean, literally, I can't because my grandmother taught me pie. My grandmother taught me cake. So I'm kind of torn between the two.
Just
Which one
just
do you
right
hate?
now, at this moment, what do you prefer?
At this moment, I would prefer to have a chocolate shake.
Totoro, help us.
And I would prefer to have the pistachio
Oh,
gelato
you guys
from
are the
Gelati
worst.
Alamo in Seattle, Washington.
Then between the three of us, I guess it's gonna be cake. Boo. My guess is X has never had good
So-
pie. That's why.
I've had pie.
Have you had pie by the Amish? Because at the
No,
the
what?
Amish
Pie do
market
really
makes
good.
the best pie. When I was living in New Jersey, I would shop at the Amish market.
They also make really good.
They make good everything.
They also make really good like bread, like zucchini bread.
Yeah, they
and
just
shit
make
like
good
that.
everything.
I don't even know if Amish people are allowed in Georgia.
See,
We calling us racist.
we live in an area where pie is big. I mean, living near Louisville. They make it's a brand, but it's Derby pie. Of course, it has bourbon in it.
Oh, that sounds good.
But from where we are back home, we have something called a sugar cream pie, and it's delicious.
What's in it? Describe it to me.
It's like a custard pie, is what it is.
Oh man, custard is so good.
Custard is
So
pretty good.
yeah, you would like it.
Have you guys ever had shoe fly pie?
Yes, I have.
Describe it?
It's okay.
Molasses pie.
I don't know.
It's super good, but it's also super sweet. So you only need a very thin slice.
Yeah, sugar cream pie is a very Indiana thing.
Man, this dessert talk is kind of spread out. I almost want to go right
Yeah.
into like, what is your top 3 ice cream flavors,
Well,
or maybe your top 1.
I
Actually, you have like a favorite ice cream? Is it like chocolate?
I really like mint chocolate chip, but I like vanilla because you can mix it with things better.
Vanilla, I think, is loved by
Yeah,
everybody.
that's-
I don't think I've ever met someone who was like, I don't like vanilla ice cream.
I mean, if I'm going someplace and to get like a cone, I will not get vanilla ever because it's too plain.
Makes sense.
But
Well-
I buy more vanilla ice cream like at the store than anything else because
Goes with
I
cake.
like to mix things
goes
with
with
it,
pie.
like brownies, cake, yeah, and also
Well,
root beer shakes or root beer
Any
floats.
kind of floats.
I mean,
Well, I've gotten to the point where, like, if I'm sitting down and I'm having a piece of cake or I'm having a piece of pie, like birthday cake or something like that, I have gotten over like wanting ice cream with that. I actually want like a tall glass of milk.
I can't agree with this.
not gonna either.
It's just easier to, it washes it down better for me.
It's a divisive topic.
I really like rum raisin. That is my favorite ice cream.
You just like the rum.
I do, but it depending on where you get it, rum raisin can be really bad. So I understand if people aren't fans. You probably haven't had good rum
Maybe you
raisin.
should just have a glass of rum and a box of raisins
But it's in the ice cream that makes it so good.
and a bowl of ice cream.
Mrs. Toro, do you have like a preferred ice cream flavor?
I like chocolate. I like vanilla. I like them all. It's just easier for me to say that I
Do you
can't
like
have strawberry.
strawberries? I was about to say.
I used to, but I have such a severe allergy I can't eat them. So
Bummer.
it's just easier for me to say that I don't like strawberry.
Darfox, you said you like chocolate and vanilla, right?
I like vanilla. I like chocolate. I also like the type that brings chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. But I always scoop
Yeah,
away from
Neapolitan.
the strawberry to only get the chocolate and the vanilla.
Yeah,
Why
we
do
don't.
you get that
Yeah,
kind
what's
then?
the point?
Because my
We
dad
don't-
likes strawberry.
We
Oh,
don't
okay.
buy that. I buy if I can, I'll buy the chocolate vanilla together, but I won't buy the Neapolitan.
You know, that's true. When I was a kid and when my parents would get Neapolitan, I'd always be mad. So, like, I don't want these other flavors. I just want the chocolate.
I think that was like a Simpsons bit where, like, they kept opening up the
Oh yes,
the cartons
you're
of
right.
Neapolitan, and they all had the chocolate eaten out of them. Like, just
Yeah.
I think they went on for like 30 seconds. You must have opened up about 10 things of ice cream, and they were all
Chocolate
had
is the one that goes first.
chocolate.
And then he yelled to Marge, "We need more chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla ice cream."
Yeah, exactly.
I get the kind where it's all mixed in together, and you can't do that.
Kind of like when you get, like, rainbow sherbet.
Yeah, where it's like swirled
Oh,
together.
man.
That's
Rainbow
a
sherbet
tragedy.
is also good.
See, I only like orange sherbet. I just, yeah.
that's like water, mixing with oil, and you can't stop the environmental spill.
Can't stop till you get enough. Come on. Yeah. I guess my favorite would be the pistachio gelato from
Which you
Gelatiano in
mentioned
Seattle,
already.
Washington. Yeah, but talking about Seattle, here in a couple of weeks, PAX Prime's coming up, and I'm starting to get super jazzed about that.
Are you going, Mrs. Totoro, with him?
No, I'm not. I'm actually staying home, or traveling back to our hometown to hang out with some family and friends for a while.
So who are you going? Are you going by yourself?
It's me and Totoro.
Ah, your brother.
Cool.
Totoro.
What do you go? Oh, your brother.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Well,
Okay.
well, and yeah, we're doing it. I think this may be the last year that we do it, just the two of us, because I think next year I am going to try and get Mrs. Totoro out there with us. But we had issues arise this year that were cost prohibitive to do that.
Right.
And but anyway, the PAX Prime schedule came out, I think, a week and a half ago or so. But they've got all the panels and stuff up now. Ted Price is going to be giving the keynote on Friday morning.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I'm basically I feel like I'm going to be stalking Chris Kohler the whole time that I'm there, because I'm going to three of the panels that I've planned on attending are all panels that he's doing, because he's got the Retro Game Roadshow on Friday afternoon, and then Saturday morning he's got this, the top 100 Nintendo NES games of all time ? That he's doing with, I think, Frank Cifaldi and a few other people. And then I think his name was listed on the Retronauts panel for Sunday.
Kind of whoring himself out there.
Yeah, well, and it's like, like I said, I'm gonna feel weird because I feel like I'm gonna be stalking him to a small degree.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're not the only
I
one.
want you to stalk
Since-
Jeff
Yeah,
Green
no,
and
I
get his
don't.
autograph for me.
You know what? That Jeff Green was like the one guy last year who was like, every time I turned around, that dude was fucking right there.
Have him sign
Did
your
you
face.
talk to him?
Yeah, I never did. I don't want to, talk. Well, it's not that I don't want to talk to them. Any of the kind of, personalities, for lack of a better term, that are on a bunch of podcasts and stuff. Because I want to treat them like any other normal person, and I don't want to take up their time. I mean, I'm sure they get it a lot there, and it's like I don't want to be, random mouth breather number 157 that's coming up and bothering them while they're there.
We'll do something to stand out then. Then you won't be a
Yeah.
random one.
You'll be like that fucker.
Oh,
That one guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
get a
asshole,
boombox.
that son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was like I could not get away from Jeff Green last year.
Walk
It
up
was
to
weird.
him with a handful of glitter and throw it on him. He'll
It's like,
remember
why
it.
in the fuck are you following me?
Oh, you walk around with glitter and you can do all of your laundry for the rest of your life, because that glitter will never come out of anything.
Well,
Glitter.
there we go.
I
don't know,
heard
if I
that.
kept on.
I
Sorry,
heard.
go ahead.
I heard glitter is Dakazu's favorite movie.
No.
That's what I heard.
No, you're thinking of the fact that Mariah Carey is his favorite actress.
You guys are the worst.
But something that was just announced today, where by the time that this episode is actually released, it'll be yesterday. But they're going to be doing they're calling it introspective, but I don't know that they know that what that word means. But it's it looks more like a retrospective of Hideo Kojima's work.
It sounds super exciting.
Of course, Dark Fox chimed in.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think Darfox is like, if he knew that there was gonna be a panel for some random reason, Kojima and Jackie Chan at the same time, then he
Mind
would just,
blown.
piss himself.
I would explode and reconstitute myself in the panel.
But anyway, the only thing that I wanted to really say was if you're planning on going to PAX, if you want to meet up, go to the forums and post there. I'm going to be tweeting probably a lot of photos at PAX.
Where is this thread on the forums? Is it under Other Geekery?
I think it's under Other Geekery. And then I'm going to be tweeting photos and video through over the 3 days. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Andrew Green, and that's Andrew, the traditional spelling, and then Green, just like the color, but with an extra E on the end. So GREE.
Are you gonna meet like Jackie, who posted in the forums?
I think I'm gonna work that out with him and see about that.
If you want to meet Totoro,
so
jump in.
God knows why you want to do that.
Come on, man, you're the best.
You guys should stalk. You guys should stalk Totoro.
Yeah.
As he's stalking other people.
It'll be the best. Line of stalkers.
He'll be staying at the blah 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 hotel.
As I inadvertently stalk Jeff Green.
Yeah.
And intentionally stalk Chris. No.
I have the best ideas.
This is a great idea, X. High five.
Internet high five.
I fully support y'all's plan to stalk Totoro.
Y'all.
We've been living near Kentucky way too long now.
Y'all. I don't even say y'all, and I'm in Georgia. Think about that.
Indeed. Should we transition over to Moviebox, unless there's anything else?
We could.
You don't sound very looking enthusiastic about
it. Well, dancing gifts.
We'll mention that. All right, so let's transition over to Moviebox, which is our movie club. This week was my pick, and I picked the movie Shall We Dance, which is a 1997, 96 Japanese movie about this Japanese businessman who starts ballroom dancing. And I really like this movie. I like it a lot. I think I saw it when it came out, and when it came out, it was a big deal in Japan because it swept the Japanese Academy Awards over in Japan. It won every award that year. And I think my mom was watching it, and I started watching it with her, and I was like, this movie's really good. And so I really like this movie.
I like it.
I thought
it was okay.
Yeah, I want to hear what X thought, because I know this isn't his type of movie.
Foreigners in it.
No break into Electric Boogaloo.
What is, though?
That movie has Jean-Claude Van Damme in it.
That's true. But this movie has the guy, Aoki. He's the guy with the wig. That guy's great.
Mm-hmm.
He is pretty good. He looks so creepy and ridiculous with that wig on.
Yep. He was just the definition of over the top.
Yes, he was.
I didn't recognize him at all until the guy went Aoki when they took off his wig. And I paid attention to him because he was acting weird.
When he first shows up in the office, he's walking really strange and making these making these weird 90-degree turns. People are he's kind of people are gossiping at the office where the main character works.
Mm-hmm.
Main character, the actor is the same actor. I mentioned this last week, but same actor who was in 13 Assassins. Who's the main samurai guy.
Oh, really?
You did mention that, yes.
Did you guys notice that? X, Totoro?
Yes.
No, I did not.
I did. I have eyes.
Sugiyama-san?
Sugiyama, yeah. But I really like this movie. I think it works super well. Obviously, it's critically acclaimed. Roger Ebert gave it a really good review. It did really well over here in the States, I think. So well that they made an American remake, which is garbage. I hate.
Except for
Stanley Tucci in the remake is brilliant.
Well, that's because he plays the guy with a wig.
The Aoki
he plays the crazy guy. I mean, there are aspects in the American remake that are okay, but in general, I don't think it works. The entire reason this movie works in Japanese is because it's the cultural aspect. At the beginning of the movie, they explain it.
Yeah.
It's in Japanese culture, it is very, there's no public displays of affection. A lot of people just greet each other. No one hugs it out. So
I would think that the only way that this movie would work in another another culture would have to be one where the men are super macho and do not participate in anything, touchy-feely or anything like that at all.
The concept of a father hiding the fact that he is ballroom dancing in secret doesn't apply here in the States.
He was also trying to cheat on his wife.
Yeah, that's true. Like that is that's why he ended up starting.
Like Richard Gere's doesn't work in that because he's too pretty. So if they wanted to make it work in America, they needed a somebody who is very, very macho.
And Randy Savage was dead, or was he not still alive at the time?
No, he's still alive at the time. He
That
just
was
died.
it was 2004 for the remake, so
Yeah,
he was still
alive.
around.
Should have got him.
You've
But
bone
I'm
saw.
thinking, The
Bonesaw is
Rock
ready.
or the big muscly,
Or
action,
you know what? Or
action
maybe
stars.
The
a
Rock
blue collar guy.
would not have worked.
Like
The Rock would not have worked because he has played flamboyant gay guys.
yeah,
before.
I mean, I was thinking like, what if the character instead of like was a businessman, he was like a blue collar guy? Because that would make a lot more sense, right? It would be
Yes.
more awkward for like a Joe Schmo plumber or
Larry,
yeah,
the cable guy.
to be like, all of a sudden I'm gonna take a ballroom dancing.
Oh boy,
Get her dead.
let's go, Walter, get her done.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one thing I liked about the movie. Oh, sorry. You go.
No, go ahead.
Is that at first I thought it was gonna be about the love triangle, but then like all the characters in the class became somebody that was interesting and funny.
Mm-hmm. It's really about it's kind of about the dancing because they do spend a lot of time explaining like how the dancing works. That's probably just for the Japanese audience that knew nothing about dancing. But it's more about like the change in the character, right? Both in like the main female and the main character.
Yeah, and the fat guy.
Yeah, all
and,
the characters basically.
And Aoki, and the fat girl.
Mm-hmm. She's hilarious.
I don't know. I just thought the characters were strange, but that's just probably the cultural difference.
Yeah.
Well, when they did the remake of it, it's basically the same movie. I'm not saying it's as good as this one, but they really just reused it. And the character that they get for the woman who wants to move up in her class, she is a really good actress too.
Jennifer Lopez.
No. Jennifer Lopez played the girl that
Plays the
yeah
teacher.
the
The pro.
The old lady.
no.
No. In the remake, her name is Miss Mitzi, the older lady. And I can't remember what Jennifer Lopez's character's name is, but she's the one that Totoro called her the pro. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because she was a pro. The movie was okay. I think the best thing to come of this movie is the thread on the forums.
Yeah,
for it.
the forum thread is really funny because did you post the first one?
I did. I started it.
Yeah. And then I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
This
it's not
could
so
be
much
funny.
a commentary on this movie. That's fine with me because we're commenting on it now. But that forum thread, you should go check it out because it's nothing. It's all full of dancing gifs,
Nothing but animated gifs. of
and
people
it's
dancing.
awesome. We should keep filling that thread up.
Shall we
should.
dance, Mr. Dakazu?
I was half expecting you to come in and you think there and like mistakenly think that we were like somehow putting the movie down or something.
I can tell that. I know we talked earlier, so I could tell most people like it. I was pretty sure X, did not dislike the film, so
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad movie.
it's just not his type of movie.
It is not my cup of tea because I don't drink tea.
I think we pretty much talked about it. So, X, do you want to present your choice, which is for next week?
Yes, I have two movies in mind. I ended up going with the one that was not on Netflix streaming, which is the movie by the name of Feast. I was giving Totoro some subtle clues about it earlier a few days ago.
I actually did get it. I was able to figure it out. So
Congratulations.
thank you. I get a prize.
Yes, you can have a prize. The prize is watching the movie.
Is this a horror movie?
It is. And it was... Are you guys familiar with Project Greenlight?
X, I have actually seen
No,
this
sir.
movie because I also followed the Project Greenlight TV series that featured this movie.
Awesome. I was worried you were not going to be able to get through this movie.
that movie is fine. It was like funny.
It is. It's also, but there is some rape in it, and it's kind of gory.
Oh, you mean we'll talk
But
about
it's-
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. I mean, I thought you were gonna pick something like Hostel, and I'm just gonna be like, oh god.
No, I would not.
Or
pick
even
Hostel.
like
no, what?
Hellraiser, and I've been like, oh god.
That would have been kind of funny though for me.
So
Just
it is
to
a
be your
horror movie,
reaction.
but it's
It
not
is.
from the 80s.
It is from 2005.
Okay.
It is a horror comedy,
Okay.
and it was from Project Greenlight.
Yeah.
The other movie that I was thinking about picking was Assault on Precinct 13.
Which I've also seen. The remake or the original? I've
original.
not seen the original.
The original is better than the remake, and it is on Netflix streaming. But maybe next time, or maybe next time I'll pick Feast 2.
Electric Feast.
Easier.
No, it's called Sloppy Seconds. Third one is called Happy Finish. Can I just pick the Feast trilogy as my movie box pick?
There's actually a trilogy. There's a 2 and 3.
There is, and it has the best ending of any trilogy I've ever seen.
I think
Does it like time warp to the beginning of the first one, and it's all a loop?
No, it's amazing.
what?
But I'm guessing you guys are not down with watching 3 movies
Wait,
instead of
wait.
1.
I know we
Well-
shouldn't really discuss this movie like so much, but the director John Gulager, he's directing Piranha 3DD.
He directed it. That movie came out already.
Oh, that's right. I thought that was the sequel.
It is. It
Oh,
already came out.
crap.
Came out earlier this year. Came out the same day as something else, Spider-Man
Oh,
or
that's
something.
probably why, but yeah,
It was sent to die.
that sucks.
It also it has like 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really? I feel bad.
Yeah, and then the first one is at like 80% or something.
We should probably stop discussing this, but next week's movie box we're gonna have a lot to discuss because there's a lot to talk about with this movie.
There is. This movie
Not
is
just the
great.
movie, but with the director and with Project Greenlight and a lot of other stuff. So I'll be looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to pick
Good
this
choice.
movie.
I don't think anyone.
But I would also like to do the
I don't
sequels.
think anyone else knows what I'm getting so excited about. But
I think we've brainstormed in the past about doing some sort of a series watching. You know, like watch movies from a specific series and then do something special about that. But
Yes.
that's obviously just brainstorming.
Yes.
So,
you know,
no, I'm saying there you can watch all 3 of these
maybe
movies.
we'll do that. Where we'll just do one of our podcasts. We just won't like talk about general stuff. We'll just talk about like something very specific.
All
Yeah,
3
something
movies.
specific.
All 3 Feast movies.
I don't know
Come
if
on,
we want to do this next week though.
No, obviously not.
I know X wants to do this next
I
week.
just recall.
I don't know. I mean, who's up after me?
Totoro.
Totoro, do you want to pick Feast 2?
I am. No.
I didn't think so.
I'm gonna have to class the joint back up after Feast.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
Spray some
possible.
Febreze.
I don't think it's possible. The Feast is super classy. It's the classiest of movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to class this joint back up.
It's gonna be good.
It's a guy wearing a tuxedo and a top hat with a monocle of movies. So good.
So Citizen Kane, here we come. Or I guess Vertigo now.
We should probably wrap
Yeah,
up.
we should probably wrap up. It just kind of died down after getting excited.
I mean, I could talk about the Feast trilogy till my ears bleed.
Next week.
Well, my ears would bleed
Next
from
week,
talking.
next week.
But
Mrs. Totoro, Darfox, thank you for being on.
No problem.
Okay, so we will wrap up. I also want to thank special guest Tumble for joining us this week. If you enjoy this podcast, please donate to the official Geekbox Mumble server, where we hang out and we talk, and maybe we have a little booze night as well. If you'd like to participate in our podcast, you can join the Mumble and come say hi, talk to us, or you can PM us on the forums. You can PM Mr. X, Totoro, or me, Dakazu, at forums.geekbox.net. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at alltalk podcast, or you can email us questions, concerns, anything at podcast@alltalkpodcast.com. Don't forget to review us on iTunes and listen to the other podcasts, including the Geekbox, Comic Conspiracy, the Comedy Button, and Good Job Brain as well. That just about wraps it up. Yeah, thanks for listening. I love you.
I know.
What the hell? I mean, Dakazu? Seriously? You're gonna Dakazu? Gundam style.
It's the worst.